Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, stay safe and stay at home. We are from group 7 and we would like presentation about exploring text. My name is Francezka Iswatun and my team Fauziyyah Yovian, Fikky Aulia, Antrika Ayu, and Dita Herliana. This chapter returns to the two fundamental characteristics of text, texture and structure. First, texture weaves the meanings of the text together into one coherent whole. Second, text structure is the unifying structural shape that emerges from the configuration of meanings that make the text. Texture emerges because a text has language element that first tie meanings together from one clause to the next to make strands of meaning that run right through the text. Second, tie the strands of meaning in the text to the social context. Meanings in a text are tied together when in order to make sense. First, a meaning in one clause depends on a meaning in another clause. Second, a meaning in the text depends on shared knowledge of the social context outside the text.
Text structure. In this section, we will explore the way text structure emerges from the configuration of meaning, making up the text. The meanings of a text are configured to give the text an unifying architecture or shape through which the text achieves its purpose. Text type. A second look at register and genre. Second, using text to achieve different social purposes. And next is an exploration of text types. First, we will explore text types used at school to tell stories. Then, we will explore text types used at school to present factual information. You have already met some of text in your journey through this book. As we progressively explore examples of different text types, we will pause occasionally to reflect on the way language varies from context to context within the convention of the text type. Telling stories. Following Rotary, we can use our knowledge of lexical grammar and texture to explore how the language we use to tell stories about people and events is structured to be entertaining. Storytellers make their stories entertaining by evaluating the people and events in the story to show how they are significant. Different types of story reveal the significance of people and events in different ways. Overview of story genres. Recount. To tell what happened, to document a sequence of events and evaluate their significance in some way. Narrative. To construct a pattern of events with a problematic and or unexpected outcome that entertains and instructs the reader or listener. And the next is news story. To chronicle a newsworthy event.
Okay, so I will describe an analysis about the context of Eliza Riller. The title is Return to Paradise. So the first I will tell you about the orientation. This is the first paragraph. So the structural elements provide information about who, where, when. So the next is textual features. The references. The first is auto context. This is the Charibansi, and the second is back to participant introduced in previous clause. This is a Lisa, and the context. Lisa gazed out over the Chariban Sea, feeling the fine breeze against her face. A shoot. The white sun warmed between her bare toes. The place was beautiful beyond belief, but it was still unable to ease the grip the grief she felt as she remembered the last time she had been here. So the next is grammatical features. The first is circumstance as market theme. This is last time she had been to set the story in time. And the second is participants introduced in nominal group. This is Lisa and her face is. And the third is circumstance to set the story in place. This is the Charibansi. And the last is relational clause to link the house it with its description. So the next is about record of event. So here in the second paragraph, so the record of event in the order in which they occurred. So the next is textual features. The textual features are reference change. She is linking back to Lisa, and the next is series of clauses in temporal sequence linked with temporal conjunction. This is and then, and the references out into context. This is a James, and the next is reference chain of his linking back to James, and the next is an additive conjunction. This is a n to sequence even in time, and the next is reference chain. This is a day spans text progression of marked theme to seek post text structure. The recontext: she had married James right here on this spot 3 years ago to the day. The receipt in a simple white shift dress miniature with rose attempting to tame her long dark curls. Lisa had been happier than she had ever thought possible. James was even less formal, but utterly irresistibly increased summer trousers and a loose white cotton shirt. His dark hair sickly ruffled and his eye full of adoration as he looked at his bride-to-be. The justice of the peace had read their vow, and they held hands and laughed, and the sheer joy of being young, in love, and staying in a 5-star resort on the Caribbean island of the Dominican Republic. They had seen the years blissfully stretching ahead of them together forever. They planned their children to seashade. He said 4, so the compromise on 3 or 2 girls and a boy of course. Where they would live, the traveling they would do together, it was all certain, so they had children. So the next is grammatical features are circumstance as market themes to extend the stating in time. This is on this spot 3 years ago today. And the next is circumstance to extend the setting in place. This is a staying in a 5-star resort on the Caribbean island of the Dominican Republic. So the next is pairs of declarative clauses combine using coordination only, past perfect, material processes. This is a had been, had read, had seen in a sequence of events. And the next is past tense material processes. This is a dressed, increased, looked, plain, said, compromise, held, loved, would, life, would do, it was. And then next is past tense material processes, chain of declarative clause combined by coordination only.
Okay, for the next is still about record of events. Here is the next paragraph. Later, sitting at one of the many bars on the resort, sipping the local cocktails, they began to talk until the last line. That is, she told him how she had felt after she had lost her baby. Okay, guys, you can read it by yourself. Okay, here is for the textual features. For the first, Caribbean Sea lexical chain spans tag. That is a 5-star resort on the Caribbean island of the Dominican Republic. That is show on the previous paragraph. And the traveling. After that, Caribbean Sea lexical chain spans. That is at one of the many bars on the resort. It is shown on the first line of this paragraph. After that, additive conjunction, that is and, to sequence events in time. After that, reference chain, that is they, spans tag progression of mark themes to signpost tag structure. And for the last is reference chain, that is C, linking back to Lisa. And for the next is grammatical features. For the first is circumstances as mark themes to extend the setting in time, that is of the past year. After that, past tense mental processes. There are began to talk, did, happened, mirrored, spoke, told, and believed. And projecting phenomenon in nominal groups. There are sipping the local cocktails, pleasantries, their hotels, the quality of the food, and friend lines of the locals. After that, past future perfect tense mental process, that is would have detected. After that, pairs of declarative clauses combined using coordination only. And then past perfect material processes, there are had led, had married, had been locked, had felt, and had lost in a sequence of events. And for the last is past perfect relational process to evaluate an event and give it significance. That is, she had felt after she had lost her baby. Okay, for the next is still about record of events again. Okay, here is the next paragraph. She was 6 months pregnant and the happiest she had ever been when the pains had started. Until the last line, that is at the funeral, she has refused to stand next to her husband, and the next day she had left him. Okay guys, you can check it and read it by yourself again. Okay, for the textual features, for the first, series of clauses in temporal sequence linked with additive and temporal conjunction, that is when. After that, reference chain, that is C, linking back to Lisa. After that, reference out into context, that is James. And then reference chain, that is he, linking back to James. And then additive conjunction, that is N, to sequence events in time. Okay, after that, grammatical features. For the first, circumstances as mark seems to extend the setting in time. There are sick month and next day. After that, circumstances to extend the setting in place, and pairs of declarative clauses combined using coordination only. After that, past perfect material processes. There are had started, had not, had ever been, had refused in a sequence of events. And for the last is past tense material processes, change of declarative clauses combined by coordination only. Okay, that's all. Okay, for the last part is about reorientation. That is tells about rounds of the sequence of events. Okay, here is the last paragraph of this recon text. Looking up, Lisa could see her pain reflected in the man's eyes until the last line, that is tomorrow she would cancel the divorce, tonight they would work on renewing their promises. Okay guys, you can check it by yourself by pausing this video. Okay, for the textual features, for the first, reference, that is her, linking back to Lisa, and then reference, that is he, linking back to Lisa, and then reference out of context, that is the man. After that, reference conjunction, that is N, to sequence events in time, and then reference conjunction, that is after, to sequence events in time. And then reference chain, that is they, spans text progression of mark themes to signpost text structure. Okay, after that, for the grammatical features, for the first, circumstances as marked as the setting time. There are for the first time, 3 years ago, tomorrow, and tonight. And then past perfect material, there are had come, had met, and had a future in a sequence of events. And for the last is past tense material, there are felt, began, shared, it was start, stood up, and took in a sequence of events. Okay, I think that's all for our presentation. Thank you for your attention and stay healthy.